Sam, thanks very much for being here today.
My pleasure.
I've invited you for some bad news. Unfortunately, Lehman Gaming Incorporated only made $1.6 billion last year, which, as I'm sure you can agree, is not much money. So we're actually going to have to lay you off.
That's a lot. That's definitely a lot of money. Are you sure about that?
No, 1.6 billion is definitely not enough money. Like
I
it's
see.
money, but it's not enough money.
But you got like a $15 million bonus, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I need a third yacht. You know, I have like one yacht in the shop. I have one yacht on the water. And then what if I get bored of that one yacht? Like, I need another yacht.
I see. Okay. So how am I going to feed my family then, man?
I don't care.
I see. Can I live on your yacht or?
No. Hey guys, what's up? Lehman Gaming here with another video about EA and
That's going
Activision.
to be the end right now. Everyone gets to see that at the post credits. Okay. Ever seen Super Smash Bros?
What's that?
You'll see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So today we have some bad news for people who work at Activision Blizzard, because it was announced over the weekend that this week Activision Blizzard are going to be laying off a few hundred workers.
You're fired! Everybody's fucking fired!
Not just like a few workers, but a few hundred workers with both Activision and Blizzard.
Okay, it's time for the easiest part of any coach's job.
You're fired! Everybody's fucking fired!
And that's obviously very sad for people who are going to lose their jobs, but at the same time, it's a symptom of Activision Blizzard, AAA publishing in general, and how broken its model has become.
Definitely. I think that, in these moments with Activision, we'll get more into the details later, but at this current moment with Activision, I think the worst thing they can possibly do is let people go. If anything, they should really be doubling down on how much IP can we create, for God's sake.
Yeah, and I think this is an interesting point when you compare it to what's going on right now with Electronic Arts.
Yeah.
EA Sports. It's in the game!
EA's stock price has surged 20% this last week on the back of the success of Apex Legends. Now, we've played Apex Legends, big fans of it ourselves, really loved it, been playing it as much as I can in between the Division beta as well. It's a very, very quality game. There's no doubt about that.
Surprised how well it has gone, given that there was no marketing. It was very risky. We've already touched on this before. Very risky, but God, did it work for them. They just threw it on the market. It has gone spectacularly well.
Yep.
It looks very pro-consumer in terms of the monetization is relatively fine. I think there needs to be some tweaks. There needs to be some tweaks, okay?
It would be a Twinkie 35 feet long, weighing approximately 600 pounds.
That's a big Twinkie.
Peggy 12.
But
like delete the loot boxes. That'd be nice.
exactly right. But all in all, it's pretty close to being, pretty pro-consumer. I think it's doing very well.
It doesn't feel like your standard EA ripoff. Let's just
Definitely,
say.
yeah, and I think it's. I was just gonna say it's definitely a stark contrast to like Star Wars Battlefront 2 full price game, pay to win shit. Like it just feels like a garbage, evil product.
Correct.
Compared to free to play, monetization doesn't really affect the gameplay. It doesn't affect
it at all.
At all. Very different to what they've originally been doing.
You're fired! Everybody's fucking...
And I think on top of this as well, the game has launched. It's a AAA game that's launched complete and it works. And that's quite rare these days, where most AAA games that come out are just riddled with bugs. And they have multiple betas that end up just, probably making things worse half the time.
Yes, that's
but,
so
like,
true.
literally, but they've launched something that is technically sound, and it's a really quality, really innovative product, and it has a fairly sort of like fair monetization model behind it. And as a result, everyone's like, we love this shit. This is great.
I
And
think
EA's enjoyed a lot of success this week because of that.
Yeah, I think, you're right in saying that a lot of betas, when they come out, it's just become almost like normal. When a game's coming out, AAA game, expect it to be completely broken at the beginning.
Yes.
So, yeah, it has been such a breath of fresh air on so many fronts. And EA needed that big time, because everything that we've seen for the last, 30 years from EA has been let's face it,
10 years.
the last 10 years has been pretty shit on all fronts from EA. So look, if this is the new kind of, direction they're going, great. Very different though to our good old friends Activision.
Yeah, I think the story of Activision over the last 5 years is how much IP can we destroy and as quickly as possible? You know,
Guitar Hero, perfect
Guitar Hero
example.
just this week, by the way, has announced they're doing refunds for people who bought the game in the US because they're taking down their online servers, which is like the main part of the game.
It's like the only way you can play.
Exactly. They completely destroyed that license with their greed, and now they're literally having to offer refunds to certain people. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, completely dead.
Even Tony Hawk came out on Twitter.
that's
He's
right.
like, dude, this isn't my game, by the
Yeah,
way. Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
when you know the guy's name on the friggin' title is like, this is not my title. I was just gonna say, there's so many IPs that we can look at that they destroy them because they really look at them as how quickly can we bring these out sometimes, like Guitar Hero, and how much can we milk the license down to just ashes, right? And they're also, I think, doing this with COD. How many CODs do we have left? 5, 10? I mean, dude, it can't be an annual franchise for the next 100 years.
Yeah.
And the scary part for Activision is they've got nothing else in the pipeline.
Correct.
Because if we really look at Blizzard, for instance, Diablo Immortal, everyone's very excited for that.
The lead game designer, Wyatt Chang.
Hello, BlizzCon! We want to use mobile devices as the platform for a new Diablo game. Because nothing brings a family together.
They're investing in some, mobile game for Diablo. The only other thing that we're really seeing from Blizzard at the moment in terms of like other IP is Warcraft Reforged.
Yeah,
What else is really
remastering
coming, man?
Yeah, it's not good. I think there's a general problem right now that's taking place within Activision Blizzard where they're just not investing in new IP or not generating new IP. And there's so much focus on milking what's already there. This is a true story, by the way. The rumor for the next Call of Duty is that for the campaign, they're bringing it back. It's going to be Modern Warfare 2's campaign remastered. Now, don't get me wrong. Great campaign. Great. But they're literally just remastering
It reeks of
what they've
laziness,
already
though.
done. Like, it's the most Activision thing ever.
Yeah.
And they're almost surely going to add microtransactions into the single-player campaign
100%.
somehow.
Yeah,
They'll do it, you know what I mean?
Of course. I mean, it's almost like if they brought out Halo Infinite and put the Halo 2 campaign. Great campaign, but it reeks of laziness, for God's sakes. Like, they cannot be doing those things.
So as we've said, these job losses, it's not clear yet what the scale of them are, except we do know it is going to be hundreds of people across both Activision and Blizzard. So it's not like Blizzard is completely protected from this. They're definitely going to be affected. This does line up with information provided a few weeks ago by Jason Schreier talking about the fact that, there were job layoffs planned and restructures and cost-cutting planned at Blizzard. So
It's like every time there's news, it's Jason Schreier. Like, he's like the only one that is breaking news. Thank God for Jason Schreier.
and also it lines up with the fact that Activision has just lost Destiny, which would have been a huge part of their portfolio, because on the Activision side, it was literally just Destiny and Call of Duty. With Destiny gone, it's logical to assume that they're going to have to make some internal changes to reorient the fact that they no longer need to support that very large product. So as I look at this, I really feel for the people that are going to lose their jobs. And I really think about recently when, Activision Blizzard signed on a new CFO and they gave that person a $15 million sign-on bonus
Just
on
for
day one.
starting. He hasn't even done anything yet.
Now, don't get me wrong, some of that stuff is stock, and we know that vests later on and it's performance-based.
Sure.
But it's still $15 million that needs to be paid out by that business, more than likely, okay? And that is the equivalent of 150 people's salaries for a year, roughly. In the games industry, they're probably circa 100 grand, right? So 150 people could be paid for a year instead of this one douchebag sitting at the top of the pile.
Douchebag.
Like,
No,
it's just, if those 150 people were invited to make a game, and they could make the next big thing for Activision.
And they could make that $15 million back if it was good.
They could make the next Apex Legends.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think that, so quickly, this guy's bonus was, a month ago? Maybe 6 to 8 weeks. And now they're letting go of hundreds of people. I mean, God, that just, for me, that I look at that and go, my God, that is... Your business ethics are just so out of whack.
I choose business.
That's a big Twinkie.
If anything, they need to be not letting go of hundreds of people right now. They need to be hiring hundreds of people. They need to be putting as much effort into the creative cog as possible, making as much IP as they can. Because right now, if they don't have Blizzard, they only have COD, for God's sakes. And Blizzard isn't making a lot of stuff. COD's, I think, a dead franchise in 5 to 10 years. They are in serious trouble right now, because there is just not enough creative stuff getting pumped out, and it doesn't seem like they have a lot of value,
I agree, and I think as well, $1.6 billion is ballpark what Activision Blizzard's going to make in profit this year. you know, that's not enough money for investors. They don't care. Like, they just want more all the time.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because, you know, we hear all this stuff about monetization, and right now so many people are having a go at us because we're asking questions about Anthem and its monetization model, and we're like, guys, are they going to rip us off with this or what? And people are like, oh, how dare you ask these questions? BioWare needs that money for development. It's like, dude, BioWare doesn't get the money. The shareholders get the money.
Totally.
And they got $1.6 billion, and that's still not enough for them. People who defend in-game monetization practices saying, oh, the developers desperately need the cash. The developers don't fucking get it. It's shareholders. So stop trying to position these sort of in-game monetization practices as being about keeping the industry afloat.
So guys, that is it. Like, you know, it's kind of weird to feel like EA is doing pretty good for some reason. Activision isn't doing too well. It's like, are we living in an alternative universe right now?
Well, Activision doing badly is on track, but the
sure.
EA thing's just throwing me out, man. I'm legit confused. I'm disoriented right now.
Now we are an EA appreciation channel. We are now EA meme changers.
Official EA meme changers.
Official EA meme changers.
We're gonna
Watch
get
this
shirts.
space.
That's
Okay,
right.
we should
do
do
that.
that.
Oh my god, we should
what
totally
good
make
merch that would be. EA meme changers.
Oh.
Holy shit. EA suing us in 3, 2, 1.